The night was too quiet in Mobile, Alabama. The kind of quiet that made your skin prickle, like the air itself was holding its breath. Latasha Green gripped the steering wheel of her '03 Chevy Malibu. The dashboard clock glowing, 10:47 p.m. Her headlights cut through the humid August dark, catching the glint of a Circle K sign off I-10. The gas gauge was a red sliver, mocking her. She was late getting home from her shift at Dollar General, her feet throbbing. Her mind, a tangle of unpaid bills, and her kids' voices, Nia's teenage sarcasm, Jamal's endless questions. She shouldn't have stopped, not with $8.63 in her account, but the tank wouldn't make it to morning. The lot was nearly empty. Just a flickering neon sign and a single figure at Punk 3, a black man, older, his denim jacket hunched against the night. He was fumbling with something in his hands. Coins maybe, his head bowed like he was praying over them. Latasha pulled up to Pump 2. Her heart sinking as her card swiped and the machine beeped. Insufficient funds, she cursed under her breath, then glanced at the man again. He was still, too still, like he was trying to disappear. Something about him, his trembling hands, the way he kept glancing at the pump's display felt like a mirror. She'd been there, counting pennies, hoping nobody noticed. Latasha dug into her purse, fishing out a crumpled dollar bill. She stepped out, the pavement gritty under her sneakers, and walked over. "Sir," she said, voice low, "you need a hand." The man's head snapped up, eyes wide, like he'd been caught. "I'm all right," he said, his voice rough, but soft, like he didn't want to be heard, just short a bit. She held out the dollar. "This enough?" He stared at it, then at her, his hand frozen mid-count. "I don't take handouts," he said, but his voice cracked, betraying him. "It ain't a handout," Latasha said, pressing the bill into his palm. "It's $1. I've been short before. No shame in it." She nodded at the pump. "Go on." He took it, his fingers brushing hers, cold despite the heat. "Clarence," he said quietly. "Clarence Weaver." Latasha Green. She gave a quick smile, then turned back to her car. Her own tank was still near empty, but something felt lighter as she drove off. The whole thing took 45 seconds. At home, Latasha tiptoed past her kids' rooms. Nia asleep with her phone glowing. Jamal sprawled across his Spider-Man sheets. She collapsed onto the couch, too tired to change out of her work vest. The dollar didn't cross her mind again until morning, when Nia, scrolling through her phone over cereal, said, "Mom, you didn't tell me you were out here saving people." Latasha frowned, pouring coffee. "What are you talking about?" Nia turned her phone around. A TikTok video, grainy and short. An older man at a community center, moving a chess piece, smiling faintly. The caption read, "Some lady at Circle K gave Mr. Weaver $1 for gas. Made his whole day. Who is she?" Had 3,000 views. Latasha's stomach dropped. "How'd they?" "Somebody must have seen you," Nia said, half impressed, half worried. "It's blowing up." Latasha shook her head. "It was $1, Nia. Not a lottery ticket." But the unease lingered. She didn't like eyes on her knot.
Pay attention, this can change your life, of your family, and your future. If you are looking for the best teachers for yourself, for your sibling, for your son, daughter, or relative, this is for you. Contact on this number and get a private one-on-one tuition from the world-best class teacher who are currently in Ivy League, MIT, Stanford, and the lecturers who are teaching in the world's top best class schools. If you have any curriculum, A-levels, AP, high school diploma, or any board around the world, our teachers, there are more than teachers we have from 150 countries. So contact now.
At work. Not in her neighborhood. Not online. She'd spent years blending in. Just another black, single mom clocking hours, stretching paychecks, keeping her kids fed. Attention wasn't her friend. Clarence, meanwhile, was at his usual spot in a diner on Government Street. A relic with chipped mugs and a jukebox that hadn't worked in decades. He sipped black coffee, the dollar still in his pocket, untouched. He'd written a note on a napkin the night before. To the woman at Circle K. "You saw me when nobody else did. Thank you." He didn't know if he'd ever find her, but the words felt necessary, like a debt he had to settle. He'd been invisible for years, since the shipyard closed, since his pension dwindled, since his sister stopped calling. That dollar wasn't just gas. It was proof he still existed. At the community center that afternoon, Clarence set up chessboards for the kids, his hands steadier than usual. Marcus, a wiry 16-year-old with a knack for filming everything, noticed. "Mr. Weaver, you good?" "You're like, smiling." Clarence chuckled. "Had a good night, that's all." He didn't mention Latasha, but Marcus had already posted the clip that was spreading online. By evening, it had 15,000 views, with comments piling up. "This is what community looks like. Find that lady." And a few, probably a stunt. "Who carries cash?" Latasha's shift at Dollar General was chaos stocking shelves, ringing up customers, dodging Miss Brenda's glares. She didn't check her phone until her break, when a voicemail from a local reporter, Jasmine Tate, made her heart race. "Miss Green, I'm with the mobile register. People are talking about your act of kindness at Circle K. Can we chat?" Latasha deleted it. She didn't want to be a story. But when she got home, Nia showed her the article. $1 worth. Mobile woman's small act sparks hope. It quoted Marcus's TikTok and described Clarence as a retired Navy vet. Forgotten by many, seen by one. Latasha's phone buzzed again. Another reporter. Then a text from a neighbor. "Girl, you're on the news." She turned it off, her hands shaking. "This is too much," she told Nia. "All I did was give $1. But the story wasn't hers anymore." By morning, Marcus had posted Clarence's napkin note online, captioned, "We gotta find Ms. Latasha Green from Mr. Weaver." The post went viral. Shared across X, Facebook, even Instagram. A crowd gathered at the Circle K, leaving notes and flowers by Pump 3. "Thank you, Latasha," one read. "You're an angel," said another. A few were less kind, taped to the pump with venom. "Stop chasing clout." Latasha saw the crowd when she pulled in for gas before work. She parked at the lot's edge, her breath catching. "This is crazy," Jamal said, from the back seat, his eyes wide. "Crazy ain't the word," Latasha muttered, slipping in through the store's back door. Ms. Brenda was waiting, grinning. "You're a star, Tasha. Better smile for the cameras." "I ain't smiling for nobody," Latasha said, but her voice was tight. She worked her shift, ignoring the whispers from customers, the stares. On her break, she called the community center, asking for Clarence. The receptionist said he'd be there that evening. Latasha decided then she'd find him, clear this up. Make it stop. Clarence was at the diner when Marcus showed him the latest post. "Mr. Weaver, you're famous," Marcus said, grinning. Clarence frowned at the phone, the napkin note, pixelated, but clear. "I didn't want all this," he said. "Just wanted to thank her." That night, Latasha drove to the community center, a squat brick building with a flickering streetlight. Inside, kids laughed over chessboards, and Clarence sat in the corner, setting up a game. He looked up when she walked in, his eyes widening. "Ms. Green." "Latasha," she said, sitting across from him. "This got out of hand." He nodded, sliding the napkin note across the table. "Just needed you to know what it meant." His voice was low, heavy. "Like I wasn't just taking up space." Latasha read the note, her throat tight. "I didn't do it for this," she said, gesturing vaguely at the world outside. "I just saw you, that's all." They talked for an hour, about the shipyard where Clarence worked 30 years, about Latasha's kids, about the way the world seemed to forget people like them. When she left, Clarence gave her a small chess piece, a pawn. "For luck," he said. She tucked it in her pocket, not knowing it'd be the last time she saw him. The next morning, a local pastor, Reverend Ellis, called Latasha. He'd seen the story and wanted to host a community breakfast to honor her and Clarence. No cameras, he promised. Latasha agreed. Mostly for Clarence. She didn't want him thinking she was ashamed. The breakfast was at a church on Milk Avenue, with plastic tablecloths and trays of biscuits and sausage. About 40 people came, churchgoers, kids from the center, a few Dollar General regulars. Clarence wore his navy cap, his hands steady. Clung to her, shy, under the attention. Reverend Ellis gave a short speech, handing Latasha and Clarence each a small plaque for kindness that sees. Latasha spoke briefly, her voice shaking. "I just did what felt right. We all need someone to see us sometimes. The room clapped. But her eyes were on Clarence, who nodded. His own eyes wet. The story should have ended there, but the internet had other plans. A blog post surfaced that afternoon, accusing Latasha of staging the act for fame. Single mom, struggling vet, too perfect, it read. It spread on X, liked thousands of times. She's grifting, one comment said. Bet she's got a GoFundMe, bye. Now, Latasha didn't see it, but Naya did, her face tight at dinner. People are mean, she said. They're just loud, Latasha replied. But the words felt hollow. A week later, a letter arrived at Latasha's apartment. No return address. She opened it, expecting junk mail, but found a single page. Dear Miss Green, I'm Evelyn Weaver, Clarence's niece. He passed last night in his sleep. He spoke of you often. Said your dollar gave him back his dignity. He left something for you, a box under his bed. Can we meet? Latasha's hands shook. Clarence, gone. Called Evelyn, whose voice was warm, but tired, like Clarence's. They met at his house, a small place with peeling paint and a neat lawn. Evelyn handed Latasha a rusted metal box with photos, a navy medal, and a note. Latasha, you gave me $1, but you gave me my worth. Keep. Shining. Inside was a $20 bill, crisp and new. He wanted you to have it, Evelyn said. It was all he had. Latasha cried in her car, the box beside her. She thought of the dollar, the pawn, the way Clarence's eyes lit up when she saw him. She thought of the skeptics, the headlines, the noise. None of it changed what happened to people. One moment. A spark. The community center started a Weaver Fund, collecting small donations for locals in need. Latasha volunteered when she could, bringing Nia and Jamal. The media moved on. But mobile didn't. Notes still appeared at the Circle K pump, and the Dollar General staff started a kindness jar for spare change. Latasha framed the $20 and Clarence's note, hanging them by her door. It wasn't about the money. $1 had changed everything, and in its quiet way, it kept changing things still.